So, should you use a solicitor or a will writer to sort your will out? Now, if you ask a solicitor, they're going to say, use a solicitor. If you speak to a will writer, they're probably going to say, use a will writer. I'm going to try and be as unbiased as possible here and look at the differences between the two. So, solicitors, obviously, they've gone through their legal training. They generally would have done a law degree. They'll then have done what's called a law practitioner's course, and then they'll have gone into a solicitor's firm, done a training contract, and got to the point where they've done seats in various different areas of the law. And if you're speaking to one about wills, the odds are they've taken a seat in wills and estate planning. And that's how they've got there. So obviously they've got the background, they've been there over a period of time. A will writer, in theory, could not have gone, maybe hasn't gone through any of that at all. They might not even had much training, and they might have just gone, picked up a book, how to write wills, and just cracked on. So that is far from ideal. However, there are many will writers, and I'm one of them, who has done the law degrees and things like that, but have not gone down the employed route. They've gone down I want to do my own business, I want to do my own thing. So they've got some legal background to it, and they've done training specifically in wills and estates, but they don't have the same kind of qualifications as solicitors. Now, there have been quite a lot of studies carried out recently about success rates, like by mystery customers, from will writers, from solicitors, and there's been many occasions where the levels, to be honest with you, haven't been great, but from both sides. So the success rate of ticking as many boxes as possible has been poor, but from both sides. So I'm hardly speaking up for the industry here, but I'm being completely honest here. There's actually been failure rates very consistent across the board. So a lot of it, I think, is pick somebody who you feel you connect with, who you feel like knows their stuff from conversations that you had with them. Obviously, word of mouth recommendations and referrals and all those kind of things are really important. If you know somebody who's already dealt with them, fantastic. Hopefully you're onto a winner there. But I wouldn't say a solicitor is just automatically going to be brilliant because they're a solicitor, and I wouldn't say a will writer is automatically brilliant because they're a will writer, or automatically terrible because they're a will writer. It's all going to depend on the individual and your feeling for them, and obviously, like I say, previous experience through friends that you may know and who have opinions that you respect. Now, one thing I will say, solicitors have a high level of insurance and cover, and they are regulated. Now, a lot of will writers aren't regulated, so you need to speak to the will writer and find out if they're a member of a regulatory body, and if that body is one where you just pay 50 quid a year and get a badge and put it on your bit of paper, or actually is it one that properly regulates you and make sure that there's a code of conduct and make sure there's a complaints process. If there is, well then that's a pretty decent thing, because obviously there's a way of launching complaints, making sure that person can't carry on practicing in a bad way. Institute Professional Will Writers is one I'm a member of, and they are excellent because they are not for profit, they're not in it to make money, they are in it to regulate their members, and if they receive a complaint about their members, they take it really seriously. Solicitors regulated by the Solicitors Regulation Authority, and obviously they are held to a very high standard. So again, different levels of things, but like I said earlier, insurance as well. Solicitors have to have cover. The will writers don't necessarily have to. Okay, so you need to check that will writer has specific levels of professional indemnity insurance, for instance, in place, so that if they did make an error which costs your estate money, then you or your executors or your beneficiaries have some comeback on that particular professional. With solicitors, they always will have that in place. Will writers, you would have to check and make sure they've got it in place. Okay, that is a really important part. The rest of it, I think, is just down to your feel for that person. Do you feel like they know their stuff? Do you think they're going to do a good job for you? Have they been recommended?